Rose Roberts, Golf Course area. This is for Lisa McClay. You mentioned helping Brigantine businesses in your opening statements. You recently presented a plan to the Economic Committee. Would you please explain your economic plan?
Okay, the question was to Lisa McClay, so we will start with her. She'll have a minute and a half.
That is true. I had an idea. I spoke to many people in the community, and we came up with an idea and presented it to the Commercial Economic Development Committee. Our island is very unique, and our residents are our jewels. And we need to do something to have these families stay here, to raise their children here. We need to do something so retired citizens can afford to live in Brigantine. My idea was to bring together business people, which I've already reached out to, bring together investors and idea people, and brainstorm ideas on how we can attract and the types of businesses that we need to attract to Brigantine. This is something that I am going to move forward with. I didn't get much of a response from the Commercial Economic Development Committee, but we need to support businesses. We need to make business friendly here for people to open up businesses and streamline the process of businesses. We need a business assistance committee on this island. We need to bring business to Brigantine. We have the lowest commercial ratables in the area compared to all other shore towns. Future plans. The planning board, we will revisit the master plan in 2015 and to eliminate unneeded obstacles for these new businesses. We need to embrace businesses, and the current businesses we do have, we need to support them and we need to nurture them.
I'll give the other candidates a chance to respond. Vince, Sarah? Each have a minute.
I agree. One of the things we need to do is we need to start to work on businesses here. I've actually gone out and talked to a few business owners and I asked them, I said, what's your biggest challenge? They told me the biggest challenge is that in the summer they can do well. There's a large population. I think it's somewhere around 30,000. They said that winter months are hard. 9,000 people just isn't enough to support businesses here. But I think you need to do things as a government to treat businesses fair. You need to help businesses grow, but not to a point where they're undercutting each other and there's so much competition that nobody can survive. The other thing you got to look at is we're a tourist destination. Our biggest source of tax revenue comes from non-commercial ratables. You talk about everybody who comes down here and they buys a summer home here. You look at the taxes on those property, they really are helping to support this community. And I think you need to find a balance between those two things. The other thing, too, is as you attract more ratables here and you increase the tax base, it starts to lower the tax burden for everyone.
Thank you. Robert Polillo?
Yep. Mr. SERA is 100% correct. This is what we have to do. We have to increase the businesses on the island. Lisa has a vision. She has a plan. The question was about her plan. I have seen part of it. It's like the Shark Tank. If anybody watches that show, it's a fantastic idea. The Brigantine Garden Club, the Brigantine Green Team came up with the farmers market. As everyone's seen, it was hugely successful. What I find when I'm talking to these business owners, their number one concern, and Lisa also touched on that, is the restrictions, what they have to go through to get a license, to go before the planning board, the zoning board. We're talking thousands of dollars. It costs me over $10,000 as a resident to get a minor variance. These businesses are spending $50,000, $75,000 and cannot keep up with that. That affects their bottom line. We need to change the master code.
Thank you. Andy Simpson?
Well, also I'm on the economic development, and Lisa came up with the plan of a Shark Tank. And when they came around the room, the problem we have, guys, we have 9,000 people out of the 10 months here. You can't make it with 2 months out of the year. Believe me, I owned the Shell station, I owned the Goodyear, I owned the marinas. I did it all in Brigantine. It is very difficult. You know, it cycles. When you go to, we get our peaks and we get our valleys. And my idea would be is go talk to the guy at the mall and see if we can get him interested in some kind of bond or whatever to put money back into the mall, lower the rents, because you don't take the plague and move it someplace else.
Thank you. Frank Kern?
The answer to the question for economic development in Brigantine is really hand in hand with population. We need a certain amount of population to support our businesses. So what we really need is a population plan, in addition to, quotes, a business plan. So what do new people want in a community? They want good schools and low taxes. And that's what we plan to work on in order to bring population back into Brigantine.
Thank you. Bill Guenther?
I agree with a number of the statements we've made so far about the challenges to being in business in Brigantine. But I think the number one thing that is hurting businesses in Brigantine right now is all the negative talk about Brigantine. And I think that there has been, unfortunately, the wrong messages have been sent out. And quite frankly, if you're an investor, are you going to come to Brigantine when you hear all the negative talk, which is not accurate? You know, when you look at our taxes compared to other areas, our taxes are reasonable for the services that you receive. We need businesses in Brigantine to serve the population that we have both in the summer and in the year-round, and we have to be able to, first of all, patronize those businesses. I think the Chamber of Commerce is doing an excellent job in promoting business in Brigantine. They've come forward with some ideas for zoning. I think our planning board and zoning board has always worked with people in the past and is one of those boards that tries to help. CVS is a good example of that. And I think the biggest thing that has helped business in Brigantine, quite frankly, has been the work that we've done on the connector, getting that road to Brigantine, making sure that people have access and egress to the island. And because of that, we've
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.